This is Empire Sports Alliance, unfiltered. No fluff, no filters, just the real side of sports. We're talking athletes, coaches, agents, doctors, executives, the people behind the scenes who actually move the needle. From building careers to surviving the grind to winning off the field. This is where real conversations collide.
Welcome to another episode of Empire Sports Alliance Unfiltered. I'm Ronnie, I'm the Wealth Guy. Today, we got a guest. We got Tom Tabler, sports writer / scout. Tom, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Tom, I know you're going to be working for the Razorbacks here in Arkansas, but before we start there, give us a little bit of a background in terms of like what your journey looked like in sports media, etc. In terms of, I know you did a bunch of scouting, so give us a deep dive so the audience understands it. What does it take to end up as a sports writer?
It takes a tremendous amount of versatility, to be honest with you, because you're going, you may start out covering football with the scouting side and football and gaining experience in that. Mm-hmm. And then you flip in a matter of a few weeks to like basketball, volleyball. You're gaining expertise in other sports that you would not think would be where your focus is. Like with mine, it was football. But I had played basketball. And throughout high school and all of that, but with volleyball, and I like to tell people I know enough about that sport just to get myself into trouble.
Right. So did you grow up though, particularly playing a sport? You said you played basketball.
I played a lot of basketball. I played some football before getting injured.
Okay.
And then from there, I had gone to the University of Arkansas. I'd got my bachelor's in history with the thought process being that I'll coach and go that route. Mm-hmm. Well, and I ended up getting a master's out of West Virginia about 6 years later. And then, the thought process was still, look, I'll teach, I'll do that route, and we can go from there. And from that standpoint, though, I had continued scouting. I had done recruiting reports for radio up in Northwest Arkansas. I have done like breakdowns of film and recruiting reports and segments. And this is over a 2-decade period.
So you basically, just not to interrupt you, Tom, but so in terms of, you really started out with scouting, right? So I come out of school, you play some of the sports, right, that you're probably going to be covering and then a lot more, but you played the sports, now you're starting into like evaluating like, football talent, let's say, right? So really on the scouting side. Go ahead.
And really, it was scouting to begin with. I had developed a skill with it and was able to really identify offensive line, defensive line. As time went by, I got more and more adept at being able to do scouting quarterbacks, scouting receivers. My skills it continued to sharpen. And I may see something that nobody else sees. I may see something that scouting is something that it continues to evolve, and you're always learning. You're always doing something different with it.
But so for the audience then, in terms of when you start scouting, as you start now, like you're focusing on one particular position, right? If you think about the college scouts, the NFL scouts, you're not going to have a scout that just covers all the position on the field. You're saying, hey, look, I'm offensive.
No, they've got multiple positions. They're looking at everything. They may go in with the intention of they're going to go to a game or a camp and they're going to scout running backs. That's their intention. But then they're going to see a safety that catches their eye in 1-on-1 or 7-on-7 play. And they'll be like, okay, we're going to take him and we're going to talk to him, get his information. And if I'm a scout, I give him to my defensive coordinator or secondary coach right off the bat. And
you hand it off. But again, you keep an open mind. But you might be looking at you do play. But you do receiver or RB, right? And then all of a sudden, you see on the defensive side of the ball. Okay, hold on a second. Okay.
Especially if this kid is popping off and he is making plays, he's reading where the quarterback is going with the football. And if he is beating the receiver to the ball and he is essentially finishing the route before the receiver does, you've got somebody that has the instincts to keep playing and play D2, play NAIA, play D1. he's got the talent just to keep playing football and have college paid for eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, you can go in there with the full intention of let's look at quarterbacks today and be like, well, that defensive back or that edge rusher really stood out. So you're immediately shifting. It's a funny situation.
Yes. And so on a high school level, in terms of, tell us a little bit more about the art of scouting, in terms of what separates a good scout from someone simply watching football.
Good scouts typically, with me, I was so old school and trained and kind of taught in the old school way where I kind of always had a notebook right with me.
Yeah.
And I would just write down what skills I was seeing, whether or not, like with a quarterback, is he going through his progression? Bam, bam, bam. Is he not confused by the defense? Is he gonna not allow the D line to mess with him and shift? And I mean, usually you can tell like right off the bat whether or not this kid is going to be okay, or whether or not the defensive line may be in his head a little bit, or the linebackers may be in him. So it's so when a scout's watching it, they're recording the speed, recording how quick they're reading the play, whether or not they're in on the coverage, whether or not they are coming on the blitz and they're shedding the block in just 2 seconds. I mean,
You're talking
it's so finite.
Going with quarterbacks, you're talking a lot of like mental awareness, not necessarily physical ability.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, mental awareness wise, I will put so much stock in mental awareness that, I mean, I see great quarterbacks that have all the physical tools to do everything. But I mean, if they're not prepared for it, they're going in, and a good defensive coordinator or a good defense can handle the business. And you'll see it at times. I mean, like you'll probably turn on first college game of the season. I don't even know who it is. I think it's in Ireland.
Yeah,
But you'll be able to tell which quarterback is ready, how much time they put in film study, and we'll even be able to tell how much the defensive coordinator and that defensive staff have studied that quarterback. I mean, it's fantastic watching it from a scouting perspective because you see it right off the bat who's ready and who's not. But
from an evaluating a player, again, we're talking, more mental aspect of things right now. But what are the first 3 things that you notice, right? I think, again, mental awareness as you're watching tape. I think that's the first one. So pre-snap.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, mental awareness right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
If they can diagnose what the defense is doing very quickly, go through it, look at whether or not the defense is stunning, whether or not they're gonna send somebody off the corner. I mean, your mental progression and mental acuity, you're looking at the mental side of it. And it's a fantastic aspect to it because you don't get to see it very often. You'll see the physical tools, but you may not see just what all goes into it behind the scenes. And that's what really I probably put more stock in it than what I should, and I've probably been criticized for it some here and there. But I mean, to me, if you can think the game, if you can study the game, you're way ahead. I mean, that's what set Brady and Manning apart, where they were guys that did not have all the physical tools in the world, but good Lord, they could think the game through.
Well, I think if you look at the line of scrimmage, especially you talk about a guy like Peyton Manning or like, Tom Brady, they already won before they even snapped the ball, right?
Oh, yeah. They knew where they were.
For their offensive line and all that stuff. How many stories have you heard where basically Brady's pointing out their linebacker on the opposition saying, hey, you're lined up incorrectly for what you're trying to do here. So that's before a ball is even snapped, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, that's before the ball is even snapped. I mean, the quarterbacks that are way ahead and that know exactly where they're looking, say if you've got a linebacker that's number 55 that's been causing the problems the past season or so, they've already identified him before they even step foot on the field.
Yes.
They know where he's going to be.
Number 55, yeah.
Yeah, they know where the LB is going to be, and they'll point him out. And I mean, and with the offensive line, if they're experienced, the O-line already knows where he's going to be, especially if they're smart. And I've never I went to school with a ton of O linemen that, I mean, they were smart. They already knew what they were going to do. And they already knew the audibles probably before the quarterback was even going to call them out. So it's a situation mentally where it's fantastic watching it. I get more joy out of watching the mental side of it than really I do the physical side. And that's just scouts evolving. That's just how what we've had to do over the years to change it up a little bit, because we know that, I mean, you're going to have players with great physical tools, but do they have the mental clarity and the mental awareness to go through everything?
Okay. Real quick, I was having a couple of other questions on the art of scouting, basically, but you just brought up a good point, because I'm a big believer in terms of winning football games in the trenches. So offensive line, defensive line, right? But in terms of like, again, you have an expertise with offensive linemen, let's just say. I mean, if you look at in terms of just the way they read the game, I mean, there's a lot going on. I think a lot of people don't even realize in terms of like blocking assignments, etc. From an offensive line perspective. Can you talk about a little bit in terms of what you've seen from a center perspective in terms of, again, doing the assignments, etc.? Because I'm a big Nick Mangold fan, so I always thought he was great. So what's your take there?
A lot of times, I think the centers are probably the smartest guys on the team.
Yeah.
Because they usually have a great understanding of what they're going to have to do to call out the blocking assignments, to point out who's coming on the blitz. I mean, these guys, they study it, they know it, and I mean, and if they're great, like Mangold was fantastic, probably one of the best I've ever seen, if not the best I've ever seen. I mean, he knew exactly what he needed to do. He knew where his guys needed to be. He knew who was supposed to be picked up. I mean, there were times I think he may have known more than the QB, which is not a bad thing. That's just you want O linemen that can do stuff like that. People want them.
Make the argument with the Jets that there were sometimes question marks at QB.
Yeah, I mean, there were times that especially after Chad Pennington and some of those guys, especially after Chad, where you're like, all right, who's QB in this week?
Yeah. So just kind of to finish it off from a scouting perspective, two more questions here in terms of in regards to traits. What traits can coaches develop in your opinion? And what is on top of the list where you say, hey,
man, I'm going to be honest. The top trait that coaches look for is, are these guys going to work hard? I mean, that is the one thing. Work ethic, I'm not sure it could be taught. The player has to have a great work ethic. I mean, he's got to be willing to study. He's got to be willing to put in the extra work in the classroom. He's got to understand what his role is and be able to adapt on the fly, because it's going to happen. You're going to have to change up, because not every game's going to go the way you want it to 100%. I mean, work ethic is it's top for me, because it's one it's based on, is the kid willing to work hard? Is he willing to put in extra work? It's the top one for me, I think, when I'm looking, because I can tell who's going to be working and who kind of loafs and who.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between.
So, because you're leading into my next question from a perspective of what trait is impossible to teach. And I think to your point, I think you kind of answered that part where it's like, from a mental perspective, in terms of showing up, doing the work, I don't know if you can teach that. A coach probably would be like,
I agree.
Yeah, because again, everybody is physically able to play the game probably at that level, right? So now it's just who puts in the work. And I would imagine in terms of what they're looking from a development, if you look at positional coaches, et cetera, you can teach a technique, right? You're probably like, if you talk about defensive back, offensive line, that the coach can do that, but I could imagine.
I mean, technique can be taught. It can be taught. It can be improved on. You can change up how you're doing technique wise. If you know you're making a mistake and the coaches are seeing it, it can be changed up, and a different technique can be taught. It's that work ethic thing that seems to be the one that can either help promote, or it can hinder you depending on your type of work ethic. But it is
cool.
It's fascinating to watch it.
Yeah. So again, that's the scouting aspect of things, looking at these players, mental aspect, physical, as we just discussed. Now, transitioning into how does that transition into recruiting and how recruiting has changed today
Oh
than what it wants to be?
boy,
So elaborate what you saw there. We're making our way
just
slowly to you
over
being a sports writer, but I want to get that in from a scouting and recruiting, what you see there.
just over the past 2 decades. It has. When I first came into the business, we knew something was going to happen with players getting paid to play, getting stipends. We knew it was coming. And recruiting wise, when you throw in NIL anymore, when you're throwing in money with people that are boosters and all of that,
Yeah.
this is where recruiting has taken on a little bit tougher of a role, because now you're essentially trying to work out a contract with the kids that are going to be playing for you. You're trying to put out, I was reading something today where a lot of kids they're wanting to do a 1-year contract, and for the colleges, which the coaches I know, they beat their head against the wall on it, because they're essentially re-recruiting the kid over the next 2 or 3 years, and they've adjusted to the NIL. They've adjusted to the new world of recruiting. But there's been more than a few that have just absolutely said, okay, I'm done. I can't do this. It's a
Meaning the coaches.
situation where it's just tough. It's
Are you referring
recruiting
to the
was
transfer
never,
portal? Like basically after a year
yeah,
of recruiting, the player comes in. Now you have to re-recruit the person so they don't enter the portal and go somewhere else.
that's exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
Exactly. And some are really fantastic at it. They can recruit it, and they can work around it. They can hit the portal if they need to find stop gaps or fix a problem. But it is mercy. It is a situation where it has changed. And I've got a friend of mine that he's still recruiting and handling stuff at a school in the ACC, and he goes, Tommy, it's a wild, wild west. He goes, you never know what you're going to see anymore. He goes, it's completely changed. He wouldn't change a thing he's doing because he loves it. He's a lifer in it, but I can see his point. It is a different ball game out there now than what it used to be,
So
because
you're basically saying anything goes in terms of like recruiting those individuals even at a high school level, like in terms of
it,
dangling whatever
you're seeing it.
benefit.
What's funny is you're seeing it more and more at the high school level,
Yeah,
where
I think that's an important
yeah.
point. By the way, you're not talking about college anymore. You're going lower.
Now you're talking about high school.
Yeah.
You're seeing kids that are signing with an NIL agent.
Hmm.
I know, just there's 2 or 3 already here in the state of Arkansas that have already done it.
Okay.
And to their credit, they're fantastic players. I've evaluated them. They're going to do very well at the next level.
Yes.
But I kind of look. If I had their talent and God given ability, I'd probably do the same thing if I was 30 years younger. So
Yeah, they stopped
it's,
calling us. Yeah, I know.
it's not a bad thing. It's just a different world of shoot. When I went through 25 years ago,
Yes.
coaches were still sending the letters out. There was a little more enforcement from the NCAA than what there is right now. Because really and truly, I don't want to say the NCAA is toothless, but from an enforcement standpoint, there's not much they can do to curtail it right now. It's going to have to be, a friend of mine told me that the Senate and the courts are eventually going to have to decide on this, because it's not out of hand yet. But what SMU did 30 years ago, they wouldn't
Yes.
be in trouble for it now. So,
That's actually a very good example. Yes. Yes. Again, you're just basically
because,
saying putting ramifications and rules and regulations around it, like just more having a framework in place versus
yeah,
just letting it play out.
yep.
Okay.
Basically, because eventually you'll see a framework come into play.
Yes.
I think that's why you've seen so much saber rattling from the SEC, the ACC, and people like that, or the conferences, where they're wanting, well, even the Big Ten. They're all wanting some type of ruling and some sort of rules, and we're just not to that point yet. I think we're going to be there soon, but we're not there yet. It's going to be a little bit, I think. It could be another 3-4 years before they finally get it hammered out. They're like, limit the scholarships, make it more of a 2 or 3 year contract instead of being able to essentially just re-recruit the kid.
And
And
again, over and over. Plus, obviously, there's a new class coming in, so you have to
oh
recruit
yeah,
at a high
because I
school
mean
level. Yeah, you're gonna
you're
have to keep. Go ahead.
trying to keep your current talent, but at the same
Yeah.
time you're recruiting the future.
Is this
So
something, and I know you just started in Arkansas, but is this something that you witness from a coaching staff, throughout the season, where they're kind of like, does that go into the decision making from a coaching perspective? Like, hey, let's get
I've
this
seen
guy
it.
in there a little bit so he can play a little bit, so he doesn't get frustrated with playing time and potentially
I think you see it
consistently.
more and more.
Yeah,
And you're starting to see it more and more, I think, because you're kind of to the point where you've got to get the kid in. I mean, you could be honest and just tell him right off the bat,
yeah,
we're going to redshirt you. But I think we're even seeing, unless it's a medical redshirt or something to that extent, I think coaches are getting more and more hesitant to do it because they're afraid this kid is going to transfer right off
yeah.
the bat.
Okay.
And I mean, it's one of those things that you're going to see it more and more.
Yeah.
And it'll come to a head, but it hadn't yet.
So do you see it
What's
more
going
like
on, guys?
from a recruiting perspective? Do you feel, again, it's almost more like a job interview these days, because obviously you're going to be technically on a payroll almost, like, right? So
I mean, it feels like it. It
from a
does.
social media
It.
perspective, do you do more of a background? Do you see more background checks on these individuals in terms of like, hey, post to like stuff they post? I just think specifically with social media. We had several coaches on the show. We have players on the show, and obviously social media is a big aspect of things.
Oh, social
From a
media
recruiting
is a
perspective,
huge aspect of it
yeah,
now. I mean, and if you've got somebody that's very skilled social media wise, you're already doing their background. I've seen some start as early as 7th and 8th grade doing background on a kid.
really,
And yeah, it's interesting because I know there was a kid here in Arkansas that I noticed him. Okay, he's at Utah now. He's one of the quarterbacks. I noticed him about 4.5 years ago. 5 years ago when he was a 8th grader. And then within about 2 or 3 months later, Michigan offered him, Missouri offered him, Arkansas jumped in. But then you saw like Texas Tech and some of the others jump in, and it was within just a few months. And he had probably just finished his 8th grade year at that point. So it's happening earlier and earlier, where especially if you've got a coach on staff or if you've got a member of the recruiting staff that will do the homework and monitor their social media feeds, then you're way ahead of the ball game because a huge portion of it is social media these days. And I mean, I've had coaches that for what kids put on social media, they may mark them on the list. Either put them on the list, or if
yeah.
it's drug or something like that related, they're going to cross them right off the list and go on to the next one.
So it's very
So,
unforgiving, really. It's a very short leash, because obviously there's a talent pool
yeah,
out there.
yeah. I mean, it's a huge talent pool, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So it seems like, again, lots of changes from a scouting perspective, lots of changes certainly from a recruiting perspective on the other end. Now you're going into sports writing, right? In terms of, how important was it, in terms of building, trust with coaches, et cetera? Because obviously you're going to be writing about the team. And we're going to go into specifically Arkansas and Arkansas football. How important is it to build these relationships?
Incredibly. I mean, the more you talk to their staff, the more you are willing to like work with the staff.
Yes.
Make sure you're known. Make sure you get to where you're not necessarily on a first name level, but it's never a situation that hurts. It's a situation that will only help you. You want to be close with the coaches. You want to be close with the players. You want to make them understand that you're not going to report on everything they're doing, whether or not they're cutting class or if you see out at some bar or something like that. I mean,
So
you're
there's a
not.
mutual unspoken understanding, right? To a certain extent, you build a certain relationship. You're not just gonna.
Oh yeah, you've got a relationship built with them.
Yeah.
You know exactly what they want to report on, what they want reported on, and what they don't. All right. There's a set of rules. Hey, how are you, coach? But it's a situation where unless it's like something just completely egregious and completely off the wall, you try to work with them on everything because you're not wanting to hurt your credibility, but at the same time, you're not out to just nitpick every little thing they're doing. Their job is tough enough. I mean, I'd like to think the coaches I spend the most time with and work with, they usually have a good understanding of what I'm going to ask before it even comes out of my mouth, because they've gotten to where they really know me. I mean, if it's in terms of a defensive alignment or why was this play called in this situation, they usually will have the answer for me right before I even answer the question.
Okay.
So, and I mean, the more comfortable they are, the better they know you. It only helps you from a writing standpoint.
Yeah, it builds credibility as well, right? I mean, they know who you are as a person and all that stuff. So it's important. It's not just a job where it's like, hey, I'm showing up to answer, or ask a bunch of questions. You have a rapport with these folks, right?
Yep. You form a rapport. I mean, if they have been in the business a long time, there's a couple of coaches here that have been in the business as long as I've been alive. I'm 45 in September, and they've been coaching that long.
Okay.
I mean, you form a friendship with them, and a lot of times they are more than willing to help you.
That's awesome.
And they are more than willing to advise you. And if you need to talk to a player, they will set it up and they will hook you up with it. And if you're wanting to sit down with them for about 15 minutes, they'll provide that. I mean, it's a good situation, really. I mean, the better your rapport is with the coaches, the easier your job is going to be in the long run.
Okay. Now that makes sense. Now, you said, again, as a sports writer for Arkansas now, you covering football, basketball, volleyball, all sports? What else is there?
I will be doing it all starting in August, where I am back covering. I'll be pulling double duty for quite a while, but I'm great with it because I started with FanSided way back in the day covering for the Arkansas site, and I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things change. I've seen a lot of things where football wise, I've seen 10, 11 win seasons. And I've seen a season like last season where they struggled to win 3 games. It's a roller coaster with the football team. Basketball wise,
you got Coach Cal out there. How's that?
Oh yeah, I mean,
how's it working with him?
And even before Coach Cal, I mean, you had Musselman, you had Mike Anderson way back in '94 when I was growing up. You had the legendary coach Nolan Richardson here. So I've seen it all at one time or another where basketball wise, Arkansas is the powerhouse. They're in it. You know, they're going to be in the tournament. The question is what seed they're going to be. And then you've got people like planning spring break vacations around, well, are they going to be in Portland or are they going to be in Wichita or are they going to be in East Rutherford? It's funny watching it from that standpoint, because I think Arkansas has transitioned more to where they're a basketball state, and just based on the talent I'm seeing basketball wise, it's probably not far from the truth. It's tremendous talent in Little Rock, tremendous talent in the northwest portion of the state. I mean, you've got it basketball. It turns the meter here. I mean, you see it turns the dial.
Okay. And how is it to work with Coach Cal, as far as you can tell to this point?
I enjoy him and my interactions with him.
He's pretty straight shooter, right?
Yeah, he's straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had a rough game, he's going to tell you. I mean, if he's wanting to see more out of the guards or the front court, he's going to tell you. I mean, it's a situation where if he's got some games he's wanting to win, how's it going, guys? Good. He'll be honest. I mean, like he'll pretty much say that Kentucky is a game that he always has circled on his calendar because he's wanting to get a win out of there. But I mean, my interactions with him, though, he's been great. Nothing, just honest as can be usually, because against Arizona, he goes, we just didn't have the front court depth, and he was honest about it. We just didn't. I mean, Malik Ewan played a great game that game, but from a front court perspective, Arkansas did not have anything else. And it wasn't that bad a situation. He's more than recruited to make up for that, but now, in my interactions, he's been nothing but great with me. He's easy to handle, easy to talk to, easy to interview. I mean, Silverfield it's pretty much the same way football-wise. I think he's trying to find.
I was going to switch to football. I feel like you're giving us life access. You're like, you're around the coaches and all that stuff. You're out on the field. That's, appreciate that. That's awesome. So what is the state of Arkansas football? I'm a Texas fan.
It is. You're going to see growing pains. I think you've got a situation quarterback wise where you're going to see somebody's going to have to win that job. Somebody's going to have to come out and win it. I think there's
Somebody
some
has got to
talent on.
compete for it.
Yeah, I mean somebody's going to come in and win the job. They don't have it set yet. He hadn't announced it. Defensive wise, you've got a great DC. You've got Quincy Rhodes on that line. How are you, Coach? Doing fine. How are you guys? But you've got Rhodes on that D line, who's probably already, from a lot of people I've talked to, he's already grading out mid to late first round. So you've got some NFL talent on the team, but you're gonna see some growing pains. I mean, I've seen people here predict 7, 8 wins. I don't know if that's realistic or not. I'm thinking 5, 6 is a little more realistic because new coaching staff, pretty much a whole new roster, really, because you've got, I think the numbers are in the 40s on how many new guys you have had come into this program.
40s. Wow. Okay.
So I think it's going to be fans are going to have to be patient, but I think you're going to see a lot more improvement than what you have. And it could be a 5 or 6 win season and people will be happy with it, or it could be 4-8, 3-9. Play may be better, but the win totals aren't going to reflect it yet.
Well, I mean, you're in a tough conference, obviously playing in the SEC, so that's not easy competition.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, this team should be fine. I mean, they were averaging, I don't know, 35, 36 points a game, but the downside is you were giving up 42 or 43.
Has that been addressed? So you're not really worried. Obviously, the quarterback situation, you said that's a competition. What are the strong positions in regards on the offense? Is it receiving? Is it
you're going to see? Yeah, I think the O line is going to be better than what people are thinking because you got Kobe Branham coming back. You've got quite a few players on the O line that saw time last year. That, I mean, unfortunately, it was growing pains for some of them, but you saw a good group. And I think we're going to see more and more get worked out on the offensive side of the ball. I really and truly, I think I have probably a few more questions offensively than I do defensively, because defensively, I've known some of those kids 8, 9 years and I've seen them play, and I think they'll be fine and adapt to SEC play really well. But offensively, it's just I think Silverfield and his staff are going to do fine. It's a situation where it is the SEC, it's murderer's row week in, week out. So, I mean, you got Texas, who really and truly, I would probably put Texas as a national title contender easily. You've got Alabama that...
You said Texas?
Yeah, I think Texas is loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Manning, who, in my eyes, he only got better as the season went on a year ago.
Yes.
People are like, well, he struggled against Ohio State. Well, Ohio State had like 6 draft picks on that defense.
I mean,
and that was his first start.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you had Caleb Downs, who may have been the best player in that draft.
Right. You look at those. I mean, those are what? Top 10 picks, all 3 of them?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and they're all in the top 10.
Really good defense.
So, and then you got Alabama. Alabama's always strong. LSU to me this year is the wild card because of Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin, yeah.
And
that just got Levitt, right? They got the ASU quarterback that transferred over, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They got Levitt. And my thing is with Lane, people like to paint him as a villain. I think he's hilarious, for one. But
you mean to interview or to work with?
I mean, just all of the above. I enjoy watching him. I've enjoyed covering him at media days. He'll give you a soundbite, but at the same time, I mean, folks seem to think it's all a show. No, this guy, he knows football. I mean, look at the lineage. I mean, his dad was Monty Kiffin. I mean, the guy knows football. So, but
I mean, how old was
LSU to
be
be
the Raiders head coach? He was it in the 30s?
I want to say 34 or 35.
Yeah. I mean, again, he's been around for a long time. The funny thing is, he's always if you look at college football, he always finds his way into top-notch programs, right? You know.
Yeah, I mean, because Ole Miss, he had essentially rebuilt Ole Miss. He rebuilt Florida Atlantic, and I mean, Tennessee ended badly for him. But I mean, he's going to flame out somewhere where it's just a situation. And at Tennessee, he did. I mean, to me, it's going to be interesting watching Ole Miss and LSU later in the year. because he goes back to Oxford. So that's a game I would circle, and if possible, if I'm not covering something, I'll have that game probably going on my phone or something just in the background.
Yeah.
But I mean,
What do you?
he's an interesting guy.
So to sum it up in terms of like league wide or like college football, where do you see again? You mentioned Texas #1. What do you see in other top 5, top 8 teams this year?
You got to watch Miami.
Yeah,
I know Cristobal has said they're kind of rebuilding the defense, and they are.
sure.
But then,
Spain on the line, right? You
yeah,
talk.
I mean, you lost a couple of really talented players on that side of the ball.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you got Mensa transferring from Duke. So I think you're going to see Miami up there. Ohio State's going to be up there. Ryan Day's a good coach. They've got a lot of talent.
yeah.
I mean, just an abundance of talent on both sides. Alabama finds their way in. I think there's more questions this year than usual, but I also think Kalen DeBoer is a great head coach. So people are saying, well, he's on the hot seat. I'm like, wait a minute. You guys were in the playoffs. You got beat by a very good Indiana team that won a national championship. I mean, really and truly, I'm like, you can't put the guy on the hot seat for just getting you to the playoffs, but Alabama may be a little different. So
I have a feeling, I had a gentleman on that, does a show on college football, a couple of weeks ago, and he thought, he follows it, religiously as well, and he thought that he's on a hot seat from a perspective. I probably tend to agree. I know what you're saying from a result perspective, but it's also in perspective of where you at, right? I mean, the standard at that place is pretty high. So
you got Oregon, and they've got that quarterback coming back.
Moore's
and I think they'll compete. You've got a few teams that are kind of on. I would say they'll have a hand in it. I think BYU's going to have a good year. They've got that quarterback. They seem to recruit very well. I like their coaching staff. It's a good staff. Texas Tech, I know people are they're like, well, they're out there buying players. Well, I mean, that's the world we're in right now. You're recruiting them, and money goes along with it. So,
right.
So Texas Tech, you probably got to watch out for them. I know they've got quite a bit they got to replace, but that Joey McGuire and that staff seem to do a very good job of doing it. And I mean, from there, you've got probably 3 other teams that are going to be competing for it. A&M will be up there. A&M's always real good. They're solid. But then you've got 1 or 2 others. You're like, okay, now what's going to happen with one of the big ones for me is what's going to happen with Clemson, because Sweeney hit the portal this year. So that's one of those big ones.
They haven't traditionally done that, right?
Yeah.
But they also haven't been winning the way they asked before. So
you've got something where they're going to do very well at it, and we'll see what they do. And Clemson's one of them.
Yeah. Well, as we're kind of wrapping things up with the recruiting and all the obviously the college football questions, we normally kind of end towards the end. We go have like a kind of like a rapid question sequence. So I got a few questions for you, just in terms of like 1-word answers or whatever comes to mind. Real quick. What's the best high school stadium atmosphere you've experienced?
Best high school stadium atmosphere I've ever experienced. That is between Duncanville down in Texas.
Okay.
And I mean, this is going to sound weird, but one of the loudest ones I've ever heard is Fayetteville in Northwest Arkansas. And it was back when they were winning state titles. It's it's an older stadium built in like the 1930s, but they've updated it and everything. It's kind of in a pit, and it gets louder and louder and louder as you go down into it. So, but those are top 2. Duncanville, I mean, it's loud there. And they're solid.
What about best college atmosphere?
Best college atmosphere.
I know Arkansas, but outside of that,
I would say the Grove and at Ole Miss is probably top 1 or 2. Tennessee's is amazing though.
Yeah.
Because Tennessee is, I mean, you're right there on the river, and it's that stadium. People don't realize it, but there's probably 110, 115,000 in that building, and it gets loud quick. And it's between those 2. I've been to the Cotton Bowl during the Red River, and that's a truly interesting experience. It may be the most unique experience in all of college sports. I enjoy it, and just being an outsider from it and looking in, it's tremendous to watch it.
Yeah, that's good. What's the most underrated position on the field? Talking football.
Center.
Center.
Easily. Yep.
What's the hardest position to evaluate?
hardest position to evaluate.
As a QB?
For me, it's always been the cornerback spot because there's so much going into it.
Cornerback, good one. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going into that position. And, I mean, you don't know whether or not what they're experiencing. You don't know how much work they put in. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough one to evaluate.
What about in terms of most overrated recruiting metric? Most overrated.
Most overrated recruiting metric.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, I'm going to get some flack for this one, but to me, it's 40 times because they change so often that, I mean, I like to get them later on when they're getting a little bit older because to me, their times as a sophomore doesn't mean as much as what their times junior going into senior year do. So, I mean, to me, it's probably the 40 times, but I mean, I kind of evaluate everything and look at it from a whole and go from that standpoint.
Right on. What's if you had to pick one, SEC or Big Ten?
Right now,
yeah, SEC.
Big Ten's been handling it right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, you hear a lot of saber rattling from the SEC about splitting off from the NCAA, but I mean, I don't know what to make of that. I wasn't at media day over there this year, so I'll read more on it and see if they're actually serious about it. I don't think they are, but we'll see.
What about the favorite rivalry?
One more time, I'm sorry.
Your favorite rivalry.
Sorry again, you broke up.
No.
Let me move a little bit.
Your favorite rivalry?
Favorite rivalry?
Yeah.
The one that's like the most interesting to me, Mississippi State, because it is oh man.
Yeah.
I've been there in November during that time period, and those are two schools that legit do not like one another. It's interesting watching it. They do not like one another. I mean, I had my dad was a professor at Mississippi State for a while, and they do not refer to Ole Miss by name. They call them the school up north.
Okay.
They will not refer to Ole Miss by name. They won't do it. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I'm like, they legit do not like one another. Cool.
All right. Well, I got two more. One coach everyone should meet.
I'm sorry about that one again. You're breaking up. My phone is dying.
So one coach that everyone should meet.
One coach that everyone should meet. He's not going to like me saying this, but I think everybody should meet Saban.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
he's different.
I'm sure he is.
He's different and very regimented.
Okay. Yeah, we just had last week and that's still to come. But Trey Sanders was on the show, so when he was with Alabama. So last question: one player to watch this season, and I play some college football, fantasy football. So do tell.
All right. So fantasy football wise,
just in general.
In general,
yeah.
Man, I think after the season he had last season, you got to watch Sam Darnold up there at Seattle.
Sorry, that's talking college.
Oh, college? Okay. Yeah. Man, this may be out of the box a little bit. I would go Levitt at LSU.
Okay. All right.
Because he's got... I don't think he's going to have any trouble learning Kiffin's system. I want to see how he adapts from the Big 12 over to the Southeast Conference.
Okay.
Because I would have said Manning, but Arch did, to me, last year, Arch just got better and better a year ago to me. So, I mean, if Arch has a year, and I just expect him to have a better and better season this season, man, if I'm evaluating QBs, I put him right at the top of the draft board. But, I mean, that may be too simple, but you're looking that he's got better athleticism than people think. And to be honest, I think he's got a better arm than his uncles. So...
Okay.
Manning there's two of them, really. Levitt and Manning both. You can watch them both and not be disappointed.
Yeah. That's good. That's good insight. No. Well, Tom, hey, I know you're going to run out of battery, and there's plenty of people. There must be the nicest coaching staff up there. Everybody says hi. It's like seems super friendly out there. That's awesome.
It is high school media days in the state of Arkansas. So the Bentonville Tigers are always a powerhouse. They're in the state finals year in, year out. Their staff came in. Springdale came in. They're another solid powerhouse. they're going to have a good year. Then, I mean, it's just from about 9 to 3. It's been going all day with them, and it's one of my favorite days of the year. I enjoy it.
All right, well, that's good. Well, I'm going to let you get back to it, but I appreciate you making the time coming on. It was a pleasure having you on, Tom.
Hey, my pleasure. If I can do anything for y'all, you just holler at me.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.